This building is a special building called RAV. RAV is short for Renewable, Adaptable Eco House, Vermont. This was designed by students and faculty at Norwich University's amazing array of disciplines in the architectural field. Here, the collaboration included professors and students from architect, construction and engineering, management, and even public policy, and was designed to reach the lower pay scales of Vermont who make less than $41,000 a year. This building was designed for competition in a series called Solar Decathlon, which takes place on the mall in Washington, D.C. This one did not make the cut, and they used this as a staging area for another building which became a class project. I got involved with this one and did a TV program on the Delta 9, a T90, and this is on Orca if you want to see it. This one went all the way to California, and they did great. They did get awards for this one. The students created some novel ideas on this one. This building has some unique features. The two plug-in modules attached to each side of the house's core with lag bolts. This creates a lot of possibilities. They can be added, subtracted, or switched around as the need may change. The modules are finished with a Vermont standby used on barns and sheds. Corrugated metal has a unique character and it has no maintenance cost. The rough-sawn pine is also readily available. The soy-based spray foam is extremely efficient and heat loss is minimal, very easy to heat. This house can be converted to solar heat with ease. In fact, the windows, if adapted for the sun cycle, would make heating hardly needed. This house was designed with an integrated wooden chassis to further reduce costs. The hidden frame allows the house to be erected with concrete piers rather than standard, fairly pricey poured concrete base. Using affordable materials has not diminished the aesthetics. The pine boards don't overlap, but line up on an outer exterior skin. Each board's beveled top edge was meticulously painted red in contrast with the wood's natural color. When seen from a distance, the detail heightens the impression of texture. This is a very special feature which came about because the students wanted a more elegant-looking technique, and they decided to spend countless hours painting and mitering the corners where the boards met rather than joining them with L brackets. What the students did would not be in the price range this building was supposed to be in, but the approach at Norwich is different. They think it's more about craft and heightening the beauty of local materials and products. Craft, not just design, is integral to the architectural undergraduate training at Norwich University. The program is known for its hands-on approach. So in a sense, this is a quality building above the usual building standards, a manufactured product which will last for a lifetime and beyond. Due to special circumstances in our special arrangement with Professor Matt Lewis to build us a tiny house, otherwise called a single unit, creating affordable, sustainable architecture, we acquired this building in our tiny house and the building it was being built in because of a war scare. The land, which is part of the Norwich University campus, is under control of the Vermont National Guard, and they were alerted to muster their equipment and get ready to depart to the war zone within days. So we had a short window to move these buildings, or they would have been crushed and hauled away. We did it, and in one day moved all the buildings to this site at the sawmill, and now we will be moving this again to the new site at Riverton Memorial to be used as their office building. So this is a film on the move. What you're seeing now is the development of the site at Riverton Memorial. All the poles and electrical lines of the current buildings have been reconfigured for the new building. Green Mountain Power, which owns a transfer station next to this site, came in and did a complete upgrade of the facilities, which you are seeing now. The next phase will be to dismantle the current facility and prepare the land for the concrete piers. This is a family-operated business, and everyone works like a well-run hockey team. So Ernie asked his son if he would like to help, and of course he said yes. Jake is handicapped, having lost the use of his legs when he was very young. So he has adopted to doing everything from entering his house to driving his car and working. In his own words, he is not handicapped. And he proves this to you with how he gets into the earth digger and is the primary source for removing this building. Jacob is president and founder of the Central Vermont Pioneers, which is a sled hockey team, which we did a story on him too at Orca Media, if you want to see sled hockey teams. And they have consistently been regional champions and 3 times Vermont state champions.
Cool. All right.
This is Linda and Raymond LePage, members of the Levine family. They have been working together for over 40 years and do a lot of excavating, but this is the first time they have helped with a move such as this, and they really are a great team with lots of experience. This site is unique in that the granite industry has been in Riverton since the early 1800s, especially when the Davis brothers built a huge plant which employed 85 people at one time. The reason the building could be so huge was because they harvested the river water by building a large wooden dam. The turbine could create 256 horsepower from the waterfall, and lots of the machinery was directly connected to this dam, and even added a steam engine, the steam engines, but there was a steam plant that was next door, which you will be seeing the remnants of today. This steam plant generated another 285 horsepower for the plant. All this went up in smoke in the 1830s, and only one adjacent building survived. This was the business Mr. Levine bought after leaving farming, which he did in his early years. This building was replaced by the current building, and the office building, which has just been removed, was where his son lived on the site for many years. Riverton was quite a place in the early 20s. It had a railroad station. It was easily accessible to the metropolitan areas, and people vacationed here. In fact, the current road you see called Crosstown Road was earlier called Earhart Road, after the family whose daughter was Amelia Earhart, the American aviator pioneer who mysteriously disappeared somewhere over the Pacific. Their residence was called Earhart Cottage, then Mountain View, and then Haig's Cottage. And lots of visitors came here from the city, including Bela Bartok, the famous composer. So you should see our film series with Eric Nielsen on Orca Media. All the buildings in this area were once owned by the Davis brothers and rented to their workers. Now you're seeing how the building will be moved. You have 3 contractors with expertise to move the building like this. You need a top-notch crane operator with a capacity to lift the building like this. The Clausens out of Waterford, Vermont can do that. Dan LaRocque told me they have to figure out the weight and radius they have to move the crane. This is all figured out in advance. The trucking is done with our local company in Barrie, Bellavance Trucking, and we have Steve Shangra on one and Art Sanford on the other. Plus we have the big one, run by Robert Scheer and his son, who do these special hauls all over the country. So this is our team, so watch what they can do with 2 modules, one 10-foot 2 inches wide and 17 feet 6 inches long, and the other 9 feet wide and 12 feet 6 inches long, and how Rob fits the core, which is 13 feet 6 inches wide by 49 feet 5 inches long, onto his special rig. An interesting part of this, all of these buildings can be moved without the costly special permits required by the Department of Transportation for loads any wider. Now you're seeing all the pieces are put back together again. This time the building is on piers, making the structure fully functional. There will be further enhancements, including a handicap ramp, mostly likely a skirt around the piers, and most likely some floral arrangements. So the building will be functional shortly, and this will be the office for the new business of Riverton Memorial. So we can say mission accomplished.